It's doing its thing. Give me a minute.
Sure. I'll just say hi to Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hello, Mandy.
Hello.
Hi, Joni. Hi, John. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Rafi. Hi, Linda. Hi, Anne. So good to see you guys.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
There we go.
So before we put the poem up today, hello everyone, by the way. It's lovely to see you. I just thought that another way of instead of doing a prayer or meditation to just is to do something that I've done before that is from Douglas Harding's The Headless Way, and it's the pointing experiment. Because when we point back to what we are, it opens that space. So if we could all do it, I'll just, so what you're doing is you're pointing to the ceiling and you're looking at what you're pointing at. There we are, there's a ceiling. And now you're pointing to the right. That may be a wall or a window, pointing there. And then we're pointing down to the floor. And then, and we're looking at what we're pointing at. We're pointing at the floor. And now we're pointing down to our lap. So we're looking at our lap. And then we're pointing to our chest. And we're looking at what we're pointing at. There's our chest, there's finger. But now we're pointing here, right here at our face. And we experience that here we can't see what we're pointing at. And we can't see any face. There's just the feeling of spaciousness. There's just empty space. And just rest in that empty space, remembering that exercise with your eyes closed, what you've just done, and then rest in that empty space for a moment that is the same space that we're all made up of. Endless, infinite space. Divine intelligence, divine love, non-judgmental, just pure, empty and full space. And we go on and on and on. When we go like this, we can go so far and then we can't see anymore. There's no sides, no boundaries, just infinite space. And then we're mindful that we can't see our own face. I can only see your face, your faces. So I have your face. Your faces are so precious to me because they're my face. That's the only face I see. And my face is your face now, and you hold it. And we would never do anything to hurt the preciousness of our face. You have my face, I have your face. It's such a beautiful thing. And I'm sure most people here have know these experiments of Douglas Harding's and maybe you've done them many times and read The Headless Way. But it's just those particular two experiments, the one where you see that you have no face, you only have the other person's face now. And the one where you're pointing, when you point back here, there's nothing here. Those two experiments, they're so great because we have so many things bombarding us all the time. We've talked about this on every call about how, we're always coming back to this dwelling place, but we go out of it so many times a day, which is fine, absolutely fine, natural. But that, whenever we have to be with anybody or confront anybody, or just be with friends, to just constantly remember until it becomes habit that the face that's before you is your face now. You have their face. And it's just so wonderful. And somebody yesterday asked me about that he's got a real difficulty with his ex at the moment. And and there's quite a bit of trouble between them and he he doesn't want that to happen anymore, but he doesn't know how to he doesn't know how to make her feel comfortable or wary of him. He doesn't know what to do. And when we went through this exercise, that, well, when you look at her, just know that she has your face. You have her face, because that's the only face you see. And it doesn't matter that she hasn't realized that. All you have to do is realize that her face is your face. And then your feeling of gentleness and preciousness about that face, which is now your face, will enable her to feel valued and not judged. And it really does. It has the most incredible effect on people. So with that, we can put the poem up, Joni, please. Fabulous, Joni. I've got mine here, so don't worry, Joni, about how smoothly or not it goes, because I can read it out from here. And you might think, well, why have I given that preamble to do with this poem? I don't know, really. Which is just as well, because this poem is called I Don't Know Anything. I don't know if I'll sleep because I don't feel sleepy. I know I won't cry because I don't feel weepy. I don't know if I'll go to tomorrow's rehearsal. I don't know if I'll put my plans in reversal. I don't know if I'll stay at home and just be with God. I don't know what I'll have for lunch, an omelette or cod. I don't know if in opening my shed I'll see Paul the rat. I don't know if he's still alive or been chased by the cat. I don't know how the day will unfold. I haven't got a clue. I leave it all to God to let me know what to do. I do know that I don't know anything at all. And only when I think I do, I get lost or I fall. I do know when mind is resting and having a pause, that gifts pour down the chimney as if from Santa Claus. And that when I'm open to infinite capacity, oh, that was what it was, that infinite capacity that we just had with the headless experiment. I do know that when I'm open to infinite capacity, I come nearer to heaven in its rainbow opacity. I don't know what I'm doing here, or if I have found the gold, but I do know I'll be kind to me while I'm waiting to be told. Because I don't know what's in store for me, or if I'm in the store. Am I swimming with the fishes or beached up on the shore? But here is the paradox and the fun of God's call, is learning to be comfortable with not knowing anything at all. And when I'd written this poem and I was doing a bit more reading of the Healing Path by James Finley, there was 3 sentences about being on the path, which I just thought was so great. I've just added them here. Finding our way along the healing path does not consist of striving for some far-off goal that we may or may not attain, but is rather a way of discovering a secret hidden deep within our hearts. Finding our way along the healing path does not consist of figuring out some obscure teaching, but rather consists of learning to see God hidden and revealed in all that we do see. Finding our way along the healing path does not consist of mastering some method of meditation, but rather consists of learning not to do violence to the fragility of our waiting. I don't know. I'd love to know what anybody feels about either the poem or any of those quotes, but for me, it absolutely stuck out. I loved that, learning not to do violence to the fragility of our waiting. Because over the years, I mean, I've just sort of don't know about you, but given myself a very rough ride about how well I'm doing, not doing, and whether I've achieved. I mean, a lot of that kind of judgment I've let go, but really it still comes up from time to time. And when I saw that line, learning not to do violence to the fragility of our waiting, don't you think that's beautiful? I just think it's lovely. So I'd love to hear from any of you now. So thank you for listening. Thank you so much. Oh, hi,
Okay.
Doug. Hi.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I love that poem, first of all. It reminds me of my life. Those people who know me know my mantra lesson is lesson 25. I do not know what anything is for, and that's the truth. I don't. I realized that after doing the course for 27 years. I thought, knowing what the course was saying is telling me something. And then finally, around 2004, I hear this voice that says, you can't find yourself in a book. Books are words, concepts, symbols, take your head out of the book. And that's when I adopted lesson 25 as my mantra lesson. And just yesterday, I realized a lesson 24 and 25, they're sister lessons, because 24 simply says, I do not know my own best personal interest. I don't know my own best interest, and then he tells you you don't have your own best personal interests. you don't even know what anything is for. So that's when you step back and let him lead the way. And in paragraph 1, he tells you in lesson 25, the purpose of everything is for you. It doesn't matter. And then the other part that you read also is like a reminder. I enjoy being at home, hanging out with you. You use the word expression with God, or just watching my thoughts, being aware of my thoughts. Not going out into the busy marketplace to find what other people are thinking. So I identify with that poem very closely.
Oh, thanks, Dov. Oh, I love every word that you said. Thank you. That's just great. Thank you. Yes, Rafi.
Yeah, that poem triggered two things that come out of the release technique. One is there are 9 questions that we have, and question number 9 is: could I let go of being so smart and allow it to be other than I think it is?
Beautiful.
And the other stuff is: could I let go of wanting to figure it out? Could I let go of wanting to know what the answers are? Could I let go of wanting to know what to do about it? Could I let go of wanting to know anything about anything right now? And at that point, you get caught, because then you're not, as long as you're not asking questions and judging, your mind is not active. And when those questions come up, it deactivates the mind and you get into a peace place. And the answers come from the quiet. They don't come from, if you get an answer from your mind, you know damn well it's wrong, because the mind don't know anything but what it's been fed. It's a recording and playback machine. So I thank you. But this poem was a great reminder for that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm always getting reminded of that. I was at a friend's yesterday, and she's a Christian Scientist, and I used to be a Christian Scientist. And sometimes we have discussions where I feel a bit of judgment coming along, and it's awful. It'll be a judgment like I suppose where I'm going with this is because for me, I sort of felt that I don't really, even though Christian Science has been marvelous, it's been fantastic for me for years, and a wonderful background and a forerunner of these truths that we learn about seeing through the illusion and everything. I suppose then when I left Christian Science many years ago and I found Joel Goldsmith and then other things and Course in Miracles, although that was years ago and that's always been ongoing in the background as Course in Miracles. But, you know, I sort of felt that it took the message wider. That was my feeling, and just beyond just metaphysical and into something wider and more profound. So sometimes the things that my friend will say, I know it's come from the sort of way of looking at the Christian Science rule book, and sometimes I have a different feeling about it and I might express it, and then afterward I think, I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's right, you know, and we have a laugh about it. And I say to her later, I said, you know, everything I've just said in that last hour, it's probably complete rubbish, you know, just discount it, you know, because I mean, I doubt it. I don't know what I'm talking about. And we know that it's between the lines and it's beyond all the words. It's like in one of the poems that I wrote quite a long time ago, there was a line in it is take off the training wheels, because you know you can get fixated, like Dov was saying about books, you know, you can get fixated on the books, and it's like there can only ever be pointers, can't there? You know, it has to be your experience. And so when you take off the training wheels and allow the experience to take you beyond even the words, then you've got a chance of maybe occasionally speaking some truth, occasionally. Yeah, but most of the time I really don't know. Honestly, I just sort of really think that that's what's cute, you know, when you really think, you know. I mean, of course you have to share, you know, because when we share about it together, there's an expansion, you know. God's in the room with us, obviously. And it's great because we share it. It doesn't matter because it's only the truth for that moment. So in that moment, yeah, it's your truth and it's the truth, isn't it? It's an interesting one. Oh yes, John. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mandy. I just like to, what you just said kind of triggers something that's at the start of the meeting. Lynn is asking why about the sign language, you know, and why about this, and you know, and so that question about why is permeating through it, and it kind of rings with what you just said, because I don't know if you know what the answer to why is, but every 4-year-old knows it. Do you know what the answer to it? It's because.
Right.
So it's because. So like, and you can fill in your own everything is your own from your own experience, your Course in Miracles or Rafi's teacher. You know, it's all followed by that, you know, and it's all like I read this morning, like I'm putting my whys and becauses because what I read from Joel this morning, he said we're all misfits here, you know. You know, to get one thing that I really like was the exercise about looking at your face and my face. You know, I'm thinking, oh, that's a misfit. You know, when I look at my face, yeah, I'll think about me. I can easily identify that. But when I look at your face, you know, I can start asking those questions. That's really a misfit? I don't think so. And it opens up to the infinity of the capacity. It's a start on the road, you know. So I found huge value in your poem and in those quotes, and I think it's particularly important at this time. We're going to Easter, and we've probably got gangs of families, and there's always issues coming up. And for me to look at everybody's face, it's my face, you know, like instead of carrying with me a whole lot of big time bombs ready to go off or receive, you know, just to have that opportunity. So that's huge for me. And you know, learning not to do violence to the fragility of waiting. Oh my God, that's huge, because that thinks, what about my procrastination story? How does that fit in with that? What am I waiting for? Is it okay for me to be waiting, or what? You know, is it perfectly okay for me to be waiting and holding out? You know, like So there's lots of things going on for me, and I'm just so happy to be here and listen to what you say. And with that, I'll shut up.
No, I'm really happy to be here and listen to what you say, what everybody says. Just amazing. Oh yes, Lynn. Hi, Lynn.
All right. Oh, good morning, everybody. It's so wonderful to see you all and to be here with you. And I just am so happy. You know, a lot of talk is going on about, why is this happening? Why this? Why that? And really, I think, the question is not why is it happening? The question is, why do I want to see it? Because if I don't want to see it, it's not happening. Because perception is what makes up what it is that I'm seeing. It's my own projection that is a perception. And having a face, and I've done the Douglas Harding things, and I love that work. And that's really what started me thinking about the fact that in reality, we do not know what we look like to anybody else. I don't know what I look like to you all. I know what I look like to me because I'm looking at me, a projection of me on a screen. But for 99% of my day, I'm not looking at me. I don't see what I look like at all. I'm only looking at everybody else and everything else that appears to be outside of me. And generally, when I see my face in the mirror, I'm shocked. I mean, literally shocked. I don't know if anybody else is like this. I'm literally shocked because I don't look like that. What I what I see in the mirror is not my picture of myself and the person that I experience myself being. And that shock is always it's always been that way my whole life. I don't know. Does anybody else have that? I don't know. Does you look in the mirror and say, is that me? Who's that old lady? That's what I always say. And the other day I looked and I said, oh, look, I'm just a roly-poly old lady now. I see that, but I don't see that unless I'm looking at it. I don't see that unless I'm looking at it. So that's not how I identify myself. I see myself completely different. You notice my hair's a little different color. I decided I'm tired of my hair looking like that's the one thing that always shocked me my whole life. My whole life since I was a child, looking in the mirror and seeing my hair being blonde and thinking my hair is not that color. So, the reason I'm saying this is because the everything I see is a projection of whatever it is that is going on in my mind. And the idea that I can make a mistake or can have made a mistake is impossible because nothing can go wrong or has gone wrong ever. So when we say that, I mistook, I made a mistake about this or that, or, I didn't turn this on the right way, or I didn't set this up the right way, or none of those things are mistakes. Nothing that has ever happened has been a mistake. The only thing that's been a mistake is that we haven't looked at it and said, that's not really what's happening here. And really what's happening, what I'm experiencing is a joke. It's a joke and I should be laughing about it. Not looking in the mirror and going, oh my God, who's that person? But, looking at the mirror going, that's me. That's who I think I am. That's crazy. It's crazy. I don't look like this at all. Not at all. And I'm sure you don't look like what you think you look. I'm sure you don't see yourself at all as the body, the person that you appear to be. Anyway,
And that person that you see in the mirror isn't you anyway. If you looked all day at the person in the mirror, you wouldn't see you because you are invisible. Nobody can see you. Even you can't see you.
Yes.
So you know to know your essential you-ness, you can only do this. You can only point back, and that has no features, you know.
Right.
So yeah, yeah. I love that you said that because that brings that point very clearly, Lynn. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, Rafi.
Yeah, this is great because this reminds me of what I do all the time. I look in the mirror, I see that reflection, and I say, I love you. You're not me. You're not real. You have nothing, but I love, but I love you anyway. And then just go on because I know that what you said. What we really are is formless. It's invisible, and it's invisible because it's not a thing. There are no things, and there's nobody there to see it anyway. So I go right back to good morning. I love you. You're not who I am. You're not even real, and just move on with. And it works for. And it puts me in such a good mood because right away I'm loving, and it doesn't matter what I'm looking at or not looking at. I'm loving, and loving is the self, and that's the reality. We are all that. So everything here is serving.
I love that. I'm going to do that every morning. Thank you, Rafi. Yes, John.
Yeah, I want to jump on that, Ravi, too. I like that. What I do is to go around, and that's why I put my hand up to tell you what I do. When I walk around the building here, I will thump my hand and say, I am happy, I'm healthy, I'm terrific. I am happy, I am healthy, I'm terrific. And I feel great when I do that. So I'm just suggesting stuff for myself, you know. So, but really the truth is, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like your poem, Mandy. So I don't know. So I don't know the truth, but I can make it up. That you know what in the moment what's best for me. So it's a big deal about I don't know poem, and the one line that I know is so great. It was so great because I don't know is the most powerful stance to take. You know, my that's exactly what Dr. Fleet used to say. Is he was my teacher. I don't know is the most common thing he would say. And the guy was brilliant and enlightened.
Yeah. Well, I always felt that, you know, be wary of people who always have an answer for everything and feel that they yeah, that always scares me. You know? Yes, Rafi.
But John just said it was perfect. Every time he says I'm happy, he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
who we are, happiness. And the more we continue to come from the point of truth, I'm happiness, I'm infinite love, I'm peace, I'm free, I'm unlimited, I'm harmony. First of all, ego has no concept of what any of that is. And if you say, I don't know what anything is, uh, that's humility. Again, humility is the opposite of ego. So all of that stuff that John said was right on the money.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, absolutely. Yes, Joni. Yeah. Hi. Yeah, you were going to share something anyway about it.
Yeah, I will. And Anne had to leave at 11, so she was letting us know. I had two opportunities yesterday. One is we had a lovely moon gathering, and Jack and I were going to go to a local concert, jazz concert, and he came 15 minutes early, which he often is. He's certainly on time, if not early. And I got to watch the dogs. They kept running back to me like, come on, Barky, literally, you know, I could see my mind going, oh, he's here early or whatever. And I watched them try to communicate with me, try to communicate with him, get a toy, bring it back. And they were, and I noticed, I said, wow, they're just repeating the past, which is what my mind was. I mean, it was a reflection. And so I tried to calm them and keep them, tell them it was okay or whatever. And then as we went to the venue, and I remembered this poem. I'm sorry, I did glance ahead, and I was thinking about the heaven, that I was closer to heaven in the present moment. And I didn't know what I'm doing, I was with these lovely ladies. There were 5 musicians of certain age. They were younger than me, but they were still a certain age. And in this heavenly moment, I was aware of all the beauty and all the love and appreciation and gratitude. And I was hearing music, jazz music I don't often get to hear, much less live. And these women were they were just incredible. And when I would look at John, and my ego still wanted to bring the past or control what will happen in the future, I just kept saying, could I be kind to me and to him while I'm waiting to be told? Because I don't know what's in store for either of us. But I know right now that if I want to be swimming with the fishes, or do I want to be, do I want to do what I always used to do? And I can feel the pain. I can feel the lightness. And I just, that paradox of learning to be comfortable and not knowing anything at all is really the most uncomfortable thing I used to have. That's what I feared. And I don't fear it if I can be, when I'm in the moment, being kind. And so this was really lovely, as I wish that for all of us, or as some of us are going through dark times. And then I'd like to add that in Maureen's talk yesterday, I've known the story of Lazarus from the Bible up until yesterday. I thought it was Jesus really lifted him from the dead. And it is more for me, like what we talked about is, we all have our times of going into the dark caves of life, where we feel no life connection. And God is always on the outside inviting us to move the rock. Or we have friends who help us move the rock and help us to come back to life, into the happiness and the joy that's always available if I choose. And so for the first time in almost 70 years, to see that Bible Lazarus story is a metaphor and reminder that God's waiting there, joy's waiting there, kindness is there, friends will help move the stone. But ultimately, when we have those dark cave times, we just have to be, in that learning to be comfortable in that not knowing, and in that not knowing, can we trust? Now, these are all things I've learned from Dove and Lynn and everyone here, but it is when I carry it into the world, in my illusion, in my mind, and I'm experiencing, I felt a level of calm and peace that I really appreciate Mandy and the course and my friends for helping me. So thanks.
We totally appreciate you, and that was absolutely fantastic, because of course the whole Bible is a metaphor, but working out what each metaphor is the hard part, but that one about Lazarus and the renewal and the resurrection and the moving the stone and all that's just amazing stuff, isn't it? It's amazing. Dov, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Joni. And talking about metaphors, I never met a metaphor that I didn't like, truly. Anyway, the whole idea of like what John was talking about, I know nothing. I mean, the course has this thing called the totality of the kingdom. And the kingdom is our home, but it's also outside of our present quote knowledge. What we call knowledge is not knowledge at all. It's my belief, my assumptions, my trying to understand, and Jesus addresses it in that same section called the totality of the kingdom, which I talk about a lot. And I always say you can find the whole course in that one section, chapter 7, section 7. And at the very end of the thing, I think it's next to the last paragraph, it's about 3 pages long. He says, if you really, he's talking to the ego, right? If you really want to understand totally, you must be willing to understand totality, knowing that the ego can't understand totality because the ego is limited by just the idea that we made it all up. It's an invention of our imagination. And then it reminds me of Socrates, who at his time was known as the wisest man of all. And when you spoke to Socrates, he said, all I know is that I know nothing. And I'm taking this really from AI Google. This seeming paradoxical statement highlights his understanding that true wisdom lies in acknowledging the limits of one's own knowledge. It suggests that we should be aware of what we don't know and continually strive to learn and question our own assumptions.
Great. Yeah. Oh, absolutely beautifully said. Beautifully said. Thank you, Dov. Yes, Rafi.
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. And I add to that, let it go. Let it go. God's got everything, our infinite being, just got it all handled. Every moment has been brilliantly orchestrated for our benefit. Let just surrender and let that go. It just, that's the power of quieting the mind. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Rafi. Yes, Mary. I just want to say hello to Lisa there. Hello, Lisa. Oh, I like your hand things. They're nice. Oh, lovely. Yes, Mary. Hello.
Hey everybody, I had a roommate who a housemate who used to have the Colonel Klink version of the Course in Miracles. Remember him? I know nothing.
Yeah.
And so he goes to page 66 and it says, this is in the final vision, chapter 31. I do not know the thing, wait, I lost my, I do not know the thing I am, and therefore do not know what I am doing, where I am, or how to look upon the world or on myself. Yet in this learning is salvation born. Yet in this learning is peace born. And what you are will tell you of itself. Capital I. And I just think he just had a great sense of humor. And when I asked him, can you give me one adjective that describes you? He said, I'm funny. And, you know, he was. So he would say the Colonel Klink statement. And oh man, I would be telling him a story, and in the middle of the story, he would say, and let me guess what happens next. I mean, you know, this statement was for him, you know, and I'd be like, can you just listen to the story? And it would kind of bug the shit out of me. And then I realized, oh, I do that. I don't always say it out loud, but in my mind, I'm like, I know what's going to happen next. In fact, I don't even watch movies anymore because they're so formulaic to me. And I feel like halfway through, I know he's going to do it and she's going to not do it and they're going to die. And I don't have to watch it anymore. I just turn it off. So I just woke up a few minutes ago, and while I was lying in bed, I was talking to God. And I went and looked, I'm looking for a new home, a new place to live. And I looked at this one place, and it's a real stretch for me because if anybody has heard of Pebble Beach, it's, you know, it's world-class golf. It's not $3 million homes like they have in Carmel. It's $50 million homes. Anyway, I don't want to get hooked up on numbers, but I sense that God is telling me to live there. He's like, I want you to live on Pebble. I want you to, I'm like, the same thing that when I moved here 6.5 years ago, my friend said, why don't you think about Carmel? I said, I can't live in Carmel. I'm not rich. 3 days later, I was living in Carmel. She said, keep your heart open. Keep your heart open for, Anyway, so I'm kind of tussling with God. So I looked at this place yesterday, and I went through a home in about 5 minutes because everything was quick, quick, quick. The owner doesn't really speak English very well. The new person that I'd be living with doesn't speak English at all. I'm responsible for the rent, but also for the utilities, and no one knows what the utilities are in this home with vaulted ceilings, and it's cold on Pebble. So I'm like, well, can you give me an idea? And I had a price in my mind. I thought, okay, 200, and she said maybe 300, and I'm like, oh God. So this morning I'm like, this just isn't going to work in my own mind. And then I remembered what I do every day from Gary Renard, which is place the day in the hands of God. Put today in God's hands. So I did that in my mind, and I relaxed. And then it came back to, it doesn't matter if you do it or not. Do it, don't do it. And I was like, well, what do you think? It was like, do it. I was like, oh, I don't know. But so do I question God? That's what I usually do. I'm like, well, I don't know if I should do. So this has been my life for quite a few years, but I do know this, that when I do follow what the Holy Spirit is saying, it always works out. Anyway, to be continued. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for sharing, Mary. That's great. Oh yes, well, there's Lynn and Rafi, and I don't know who wants to go first.
Lynn, you want to go first?
You want to go first, Lynn? Yeah.
Just really quickly, to your the beginning of what you were saying, Mary, and the whole thing. Yes, it is all formulaic. It is all, everything is, the stories are all predictable. They're all, because they're already done. They're already made up. So you already moved to that place, and everything was perfect, whatever place that happens to be. That's where you are. That's the reality of your Mary in the Dream character. So the Mary in the Dream character is going to have this adventure and that adventure. And when the Mary in the Dream looks back and says, oh, that's just like a novel. That's the same story I saw on television. That's the same story I saw in the movie. Because all the ego can do is make up the same story over and over and over again, and just change the names and the faces and the places, but it's the same thing over and over and over. And it's not really your life. It has nothing to do with you. And it has nothing to do with your situation. The only thing that has anything to do with you and your situation is the knowing of who you are, and the remembering that you are Christ. And the Christ is what is alive in you, and the only thing that's real about you. And of course you know that, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm just reminding myself of that very same thing, that all the circumstances of this world have really no meaning at all, other than to point to me, to tell me this is who you are. So I love your story, Mary, and I love the ongoing adventures of Mary, because there's always some new and interesting thing that's happening in this story, and that's why I hang out here in this world, is because I love the stories, and when I stop loving the story, I won't be seeing stories anymore. So thank you for being so willing to share yours. I love you, Mary.
Oh, I love what you said, Lynn. That was beautifully put. Thank you so much. That's lovely. Oh, lovely. Yes, Rafi. Yeah.
Well, in regard to the movie thing, I don't watch movies very much anymore because I find myself looking at them going, oh, that's an interesting two shot. Oh, that's interesting camera movement.
I do that.
Is that on the track or is that handheld? Oh, I see what they did here. They did an establishing shot, then they went in and did close-ups. And then while I'm doing that, my mind starts to rewrite the story. They shouldn't be doing that. They should do this. They should. And then step back and look at it. And look at all this pointless mind activity. It's absolutely pointless and meaningless. What the hell is all of that for? And my mind gets real quiet again. And I'm back in the quiet, which is the only reality anyway. And is it all here to help us teach us to get to where we are? The only purpose is to wake up from this dream and all of that stuff. I'm not here to make the dream better. It gets better on its own. Thank you very much. My job is to wake up. And the other thing, and one of the ways to wake up is to get that thing to be quiet. And to get that thing to be quiet is just stand back and look at the thoughts and realize, A, they're just thoughts. B, they're meaningless. What's the point of all of them? And they have nothing to do with what I am. Thank you.
Oh, Rafi, it's really funny because I was an actress for a while and I did film studies as well. And I'm dreadful. I can't watch a film without opinion about it. And we were watching a film the other night, and I had all these things coming out like, well, I felt that all the characters were a bit two-dimensional. We didn't actually get to see the depth of the characters. And my friend said, yeah, but there were so many people in this story. What could they have done? I said, well, the director should have made a decision to not have so many characters in and just give more depth to the ones that, rather than just having loads of characters with no depth. And then I heard myself, I thought, oh, shut up. Get off it. And I thought it's just totally pointless. The film's been made. It's none of your business. Could you have made it? No. And that's what's cute, you see. We start to just laugh and laugh and laugh when we catch ourselves doing this stuff. It's so funny. So I really identified with that, Rafi. Oh, yes, Mary. Hi.
I'll be quick on this one. As I was driving to the new house yesterday, I heard God say, just live on Pebble. I want you to see the expansiveness of me. I've been saying this lately to myself. I am divine consciousness. I'm unlimited being. I am that. And to be honest with you, a lot of this stuff, Mandy, and everybody, is just goes over my head and under my feet. I just like, I don't really know. But so I heard this thing say yesterday, just realize that I am, just realize, I want you to see, I don't know if I can say it exactly, but the expansiveness, it's something like the expansiveness of me, the unlimitedness of me. And, I just get to hear that and be with that and know that that is talking to me right now. And it's just ineffable. And then my ego wants to argue with it.
Well, it's just because, like as you just found, you can't even describe it. So the ego is always wanting to have a go and interfere and pretend it knows something it doesn't. And that's why that one of the easiest ways when that happens, I find in my experience, is to laugh at it, really laugh at it, like I did at the film critic just before, like, oh, for goodness sake, get out of there. What do you know? And just saying, like, I also say it's just so cute. And then drop it. Just drop it. You know, don't carry on with it then. The laughing, just for me, I find laughing at is the fastest way. Right, so who wants to go first? John, Linda, Jack. John, do you want to say what you were going to say?
I'll be brief. I just wanted to thank Joni for giving me the captions because I was able to read what Mary said, and to hear what she said and to see it really impressed me. And that's huge. And I really want to thank you, Mary, for your realizations there. It was just great for me. You've really highlighted a big stuff for me. The thing that I wanted to check out was with Mandy's story about the filming and that she's watching, and then she says, "Yeah, but," and that's what I'm listening to whenever I catch it now. Yeah, but this or what if, but especially yeah, but, and that's a big time ego game I just learned last week and how to deal with it, because it's a winners losers game. It's somebody's got to lose and somebody's got to win. Yeah, but this, yeah, but that. You got to answer. It can never end. So I just realized I had to leave early last week, and by the way, yeah. I had to leave early, but that's where I went to coaching from an English lady from Spalding in Lincolnshire, and she taught me this is from Games People Play. And the way off the yeah but game is to just say, just give up, because then there's no winners or losers. It's just yeah, I know you'll know what to do. I know you'll know what to do, because it's giving up on the game. It's a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. There'll be yeah buts till the end of wherever. So I know you'll know exactly what to do, and just leave it at that. So we get off that game. So I just wanted to share that briefly. So that's my yeah but story.
No, very, very good, because it's that thing that there are no decisions in God. There's just correct timing when we get out of the way and stop. Yeah, exactly. The fastest that you can notice and drop those yeah but, like you say, the fastest we can do that is the best way. Oh, thank you. Yes, Linda. Hi, Linda. Thank you.
Everything that everyone says just goes deeply into my heart. I love lesson 104 today. I seek what belongs to me in truth. And when I go into that still small place within me and seek God first and know that God is peace and God is love, and that is all I need to know to move forward in my day. Rafi said, I know God, or Dove, one of them, I know nothing. Now what do I know? So when I clear the slate every day and allow my emptiness to be empty and to simply sink into the moment and hear the voice of God, I hear peace and I feel stillness. And then I know that's where I start my day. Yes. I just love what everyone has said. I'm not going to regurgitate it all. It's just permeating my soul. But yes, I know nothing now. What do I know? And I trust and I know that Mary's next home will unfold easily with grace and ease. And the divine has the plan for you. Simply be still and listen and wait and act. Thank you, everyone.
And so it is.
Thank you, Linda. And it's going to be cute.
I think you just said it all there, Linda. It's like letting the peace inform your day. That's it, really. That's all you need. It's the best way to start. Thank you. Joni.
I just wanted to add on to that is, we talked about twice about how, you're watching a movie, telling a story about it, commentary, and then laughing and letting it go. We know, and I am trying, and I am knowing that even when I went to the jazz concert, I was just watching my own movie. And could I laugh at that? And could I let it go? I just felt the love and the gratitude. And And as Mary is demonstrating, and Linda and all of us have said, I recently was reminded, to say, and so it is, after everything. And so if this is when, as your poem says, if are you swimming with the fishes? Are you melting into the tea of God? Or are you beached up on the shore, which is not what God's intention for us? It is, and so it is. So whatever we're thinking, whatever guidance I'm listening to, it is going to be so it is. So I can step back and say how cute it is and laugh, and so it is. So whatever's going on, and for me, as we, obviously for a long time doing the course lessons and before lunch, shut the computer, and then I go back into ego thought system. Now I don't, now I shut the lessons and notice how every moment is an opportunity to choose again, which is one of Linda's favorite things to say. It is always a choice. And as I relax into it and I can stretch it longer and longer, I become comfortable with not knowing anything at all. And that makes me laugh. Yes.
Thank you so much. I mean, Joni, that is the most comfortable place for me. The knowing that I don't know, because it's just completely effortless. When you think you have to know something or that you know something, it's exhausting. And I love what you said, that when you're at the jazz concert, or you could have been at a movie, you're not watching anything out there, you're only watching your own movie. And
Yes.
beautiful.
Well, that's why, I get it, because you two have that experience, but I'm thinking I do kind of watch movies a little more seriously than you guys do. But then I realized, but I could apply that to my real life. If we know it is a mirror, it is a reflection. We have time to read the poem again if you'd like to have someone.
Yes.
If somebody would like to read it.
Who'd like to read it? You'd like to read it, John? You go ahead.
I don't know anything power poem by Mandi Solk. I don't know if I'll sleep because I don't feel sleepy. I know I won't cry because I don't feel weepy. I don't know if I'll go tomorrow's rehearsal. I don't know if I'll put my plans in reversal. I don't know if I'll stay at home and just be with God. I don't know if I'll have lunch or an omelet or cod. I don't know if opening my shed, I'll see Paul the rat. I don't know if he's still alive or being chased by the cat. I don't know how the day will unfold. I haven't got a clue. I leave it all to God to let me know what to do. I do know that I don't know anything at all. And only when I think I do, I get lost or I fall. I do know when my mind is resting and having a pause, that gifts pour down the chimney as if from Santa Claus, and that when I'm open to infinite capacity, I'm nearer to heaven in its rainbow opacity. I don't know what I'm doing here, or if I have found the gold, but I do know I'll be kind to me while I'm waiting to be told. Because I know what's in store for me. Because I don't know what's in store for me, or if I'm in the store. Am I swimming with the fishes, or beached up on the shore? But here is the paradox and the fun of God's call. It's learning to be comfortable with not knowing anything at all.
Yay! Thank you. Oh, that was so beautifully read, John.
What a beautiful poem. What a beautiful poem.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you, everybody. This has been brilliant. You know, it's just flowed and it's just been so great. And I've learned so much. And just thank you so much. And so, anything else to say, Joni? A big thank you to Joni for you know, being the technical wizard woman who puts it all together, and for Lynn for letting everybody know, and for all of you for being here. So thank you so much.
And big thank you for Mandy for writing the poem and being
Yeah.
and being sharing with us. That's a big deal.
I really want to think that we're the practicality of this, and I know that's important to you, but I am practicing what your poems and I can take it out into the dream and apply it, and I'm grateful. So thank you.
Oh, thank
Can't
you.
wait to get a copy of it so I can share it with so many others.
Yes,
And it's fun.
and it's fun. Yes.
Fun. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, so hopefully see you next week.
Yep.
So
And let
it's-
everybody know, and between Mandy's email and Lynn's, and let other people know, share that forward.
Happy Easter.
Really wonderful. Thanks,
Happy
everybody.
Easter.
Wonderful.
Thank you.